Good morning. Welcome to the homestead. Today we have a bunch of little things on our plate. Right now I'm going to work on these two piles by weed eating around them. And then we're going to get to some other projects that we needed to get to. There's going to be a lot of little projects. We're going to compile several days in order to put together a lot of the little things we've done over a period of time. In some of the clips, we're going to have the microphone working, and in other clips, the microphone won't be working until we figure out what's wrong with our second camera. Unfortunately, we are not aware when the camera isn't working properly until we get back to the city, and then we figure out that, oops, fail. Nevertheless, it's time to get busy. So I'm going to start here, and you keep watching. This mound behind me fell over. It was piled up, and it just fell over, releasing some of the thorns from around there. It's real important that we keep the thorns up so that the tractor and the lawnmower don't run over them. I've got to go back over there and finish. Okay, done.
Good morning. Welcome to the homestead. Well, it's a beautiful day, and I've got some small tasks I want to get done. One of them is to change out the tires on the trailer, one that goes behind the yard tractor. I've got two front tires that I no longer use on this, and so they're a little shorter, but they are wider and heavier, and they've got ball bearings in them. So I'd like to use those instead of the tires that are on there now because there's no bearings on those, and it's just done kind of bad. So let's get on with it. This may not work. Okay, well, I can't get the wheel on the axle. The old bearing race is still stuck on there, so I'm going to see if I can get that off. Well, okay, I don't think this is going to work. The tires are too wide. There's a bearing race stuck on the other part of the axle. So for now, I'm going to have to just go back to the drawing board, put the old tires back on, and I'll put these aside. So, it's been really hot here, and we've been suffering with just fans and that kind of thing because we don't have 50 amp power up to the RV. And it takes 50 amp power to run the air conditioners that are on the RV. And Brenda said, hey, don't we have an air conditioner that we bought for one of the cottages? And can't we use that? Well, That's a good idea. So that's kind of the plan. I'm going to go get that air conditioner out of the cottage and make sure that it will run on the service that we're currently using on our RV, and we'll just have to see how that goes. Well, I've tested the unit and made sure that it worked, and this is the only window right here that it can go in because I've got someplace that it'll lean on and be braced. So I want to make sure, though, that I don't damage the screen. So I do have a roll of screen that I can use to put around it and make sure that we don't damage the factory screen. I'm not sure how well it's going to work in this space, but it should be all right. First, I have to install this brace on the top of it. So let's get it done. I've got this stick here I'm going to use to brace the air conditioner. It'll go all the way across the window and I'll just screw it in on top. I'm going to measure now to seal the gaps above the air conditioner. Okay, got that installed. Seems to be working fine. It's really hot here. I'm really hoping that this will cool down the coach so that we can sleep better at night. It's kind of tough without air conditioning. It's hot, too hot to do strenuous work, so down to little work. We got to pop holes in all these bottles to use them in the planting buckets. For Brenda, she's off getting me a bucket now that I can throw the bottles into. You use a soldering iron. Super simple, 2 holes in the top, 2 holes in the bottom, and we toss it. When we put them in the bucket, they all stand up. You fill the bucket with water up to 5 inches. All of these bottles fill up as well. Dirt's on top of them. It lets the moisture wick up to the plants through the dirt. So that's what we're doing.
One of the difficulties about self-watering gardens is that you don't know how much water you have in it. The pipe allows you to fill the garden with water, or the rain that falls. You would fill the tube, it'd go down, it'd rise up into those bottles, and it would slowly leach into the soil. And the only problem is when do you know when to water it again? I'm creating this tool right here so I know how much water is in the bucket. Taking a cork, sticking it on the end of the stick, and twisting it on. And this is kind of tough. Now, the cork will float. We'll drop it down the tube, and when you pull it out, the cork will be wet, and you'll know either you have water or you don't. If the stick is wet, then you don't have to water it. But if the stick is dry, well, then you're going to need to put water in it. And so it's that easy. I'm going to finish these up, and then we'll go and we'll test it. It's wet. Wow. And look, it bounces back. There's water in here from the last time it rained. That's remarkable.
I'm going to be installing new bearings in these wheels off of our lawn tractor yard cart. To do that, though, the old races are stuck inside the wheels, so I'm going to have to get a hammer and a screwdriver and drive them out. Hopefully that'll work. I've got a socket that I'm going to use as a bearing driver so that it doesn't damage the inside of the ball bearing. Okay, that worked out nicely. The old race is stuck, so I'm going to have to get my grinder. Well, okay. I got the wheel on. It should work fine. It was harder than I thought it was going to be. This wheel's really bad. See how wobbly it is? This is why we have to fix it. this wheel, the race is not in there, so I don't have to beat the one side out. I just have to do the other side. All right, I got both bearings in this wheel. We just need to install it. All right, it's all done.
Well, there you go. Thanks for watching. We sure appreciate you. We'll see you next time on the Homestead. Be sure to like, share, press the notification bell, and subscribe. Go ahead and comment as well. We love to hear from you. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.